Alright, I'm gonna make this a quick, simple video, you know, not too difficult for y'all to understand. But this guy right here, he wanted a little bit of brief explanation on stats. So, I got you, fam. I got you. So, for the majority of your characters, so you would want to... Actually, let me rephrase that. For disc run through 3, they're already locked in for you, you know? Like, you got HP, you can't get nothing more than HP for the main stat. Same thing for the second one, which is all only attack for the main stat. And the third one, defense. You can only get defense. So, what do you build? What do you build? What do you build, huh? So, you want 4 stats. Let me see if I have a perfect one, man. This one's... Oh, that was actually close to perfect. Where was I? Oh, this is close to perfect. This is close to perfect. So, for this one, instead of going for attack raw, you want attack percentages. You would want crit damage, crit rate, crit percentage, and anomaly proficiency. Same thing for this one and this one. They all revolve around the same thing. Now, this is where it gets difficult for these 3 discs, since these are the ones that RNG is the hardest. RNG is the hardest. We got like 2 main stats for the disc 4. You got crit damage. You got I don't have proficiency. There we go, proficiency. Right. And then we also have attack. But you mainly want the crit damage over the attack because you get 18% more damage when you do crits and stuff. Proficiency, I would only get it for like anomaly characters. So as you see, Bernice, her stats are based on her anomaly. So if for every 10 points, she gets 1% damage increase for her burn when it cracks. So, and there's a maximum of 30%. So when you reach that number, which is 300, it would basically reach that, and then you have a little bit extra. So that's where you kind of want to like intermingle your builds, right? Because then you could get more than 1 point in anomalies. This one I got 2 points in anomaly, 2 points, 18, right? 18, right? So in theory, you don't need to build proficiency on anomaly characters. It's just it makes it easier for the builds. So what about the substats? What would you want for crit damage or proficiency? If I can find one, proficiency, right? So you would want, if you went proficiency, you would want crit damage, attack, percent. Since you can't get anomaly, you'll go for raw attack or pen ratio, and then you get crit rate. If you went the other way around for crit damage, you would go for anomaly, crit rate, attack percentage, and then you would decide pen ratio or attack raw. Now, that's basically all you need to know for disc 4. Disc 5, on the other hand, this is where it is also another brain jogger for some people. You would have to go for the element of the character. So for Miyabi, I have ice damage. For Grace, I have electric. For Zuyan, I have 30%, but that's just because of I don't have the ether one that is better than this one at the moment. This is pretty good. So I would go for ether for her. The only reason you want element is because you can get attack percentage, right? So then for this one, you'll build it like 1, 2, 3. Crit damage, crit rate, raw 30%. No, not 30%. Freaking 3% attack, and then anomaly. So then the only reason is because you get the extra 3% damage on your skills and autos, and whenever you pack the element. So for disc number 6, right? Disc number 6 for DPS characters, you only really want attack percentage. I know there's like mastery out there, but mastery is not really worth losing 30%. In my case. And then there's energy regen, which is good for support characters. You know, they're a freaking chugger when it comes to MP, or I mean skill cost. And then stunners, impact is usually the route, because the faster you can stun, you know, the faster big boy damage comes in. And then the same thing you'll build, like for support characters, usually you don't have the attack percentages. So for these, you would build like these ones, right? Where it's just crit damage, crit rate, anomaly, attack percentage. But if you have the 30% attack, then you would go for the crit damage, anomaly, crit rate, and then raw or pen ratio. Since you can't have it, obviously. So that's really all you need to know about disc, really, for the stats and stuff. The disc side effects, that's where I would say you have to decide how you want them to play. I usually like to maximize my damage, so I don't. So I guess the best example I can give you is Zuyang, because I've been building her for maximum damage. So this should just be one example. I got the 10% ether, and then every corruption increases her damage by 5.5%. And you can't forget, if you have the 4-piece, you get 20% crit damage. Also, I got the 2-piece here for the extra 16% crit. I try to roll as much crit percentages here, right? Every single one of them has crit damage in them, besides this one, because you can't get it. I got attack percentage. And you also want some crit rates, because if you don't have any crit, then you can't proc damage, right? So my crit rate is pretty low. You're wondering, why do I have this low? Because her engine gives 15%. So in reality, I'm at 35, basically. 35. And then I use Nicole because her tier 6 gives 15% crit rate. So now I'm at 35, now plus 15. It's 40, 50, it's 50, right? That's not also including her brace thing, right? Increased crit rate 30%, right? Now, so I'm at 50, what's 30%? It's 80. So basically, I don't really need to build more than 40% crit rate on it. Otherwise, it's useless stats.